The light is already fading when you stop, not in a way that draws attention, only slowly as the sky softens and the colors of the day begin to settle into something quieter. If you enjoy calm stories from Middle-earth, you can stay a while, and if you'd like more like this, you can follow the channel. Now, the story begins. The path behind you has grown less clear. Not lost, only no longer needed. Because this place, this small opening between the trees, feels enough. The ground is level, soft beneath your steps, not untouched, but undisturbed, as though it has waited without knowing it was waiting. You stand for a moment, not out of hesitation, only to listen. The wind moves gently through the branches above, carrying the faint sound of leaves shifting against one another. Somewhere in the distance, something stirs. Not close, not approaching, only present. As all things are in these lands, the air is cool, but not cold. It settles against you without weight. Familiar, steady. You set your pack down slowly. There is no urgency here. No reason to rush what the night will take its time to become. Each movement is quiet, measured, not because you must be careful, but because there is no need to be otherwise. The ground takes your weight without resistance. The small clearing opens just enough to reveal the sky above. Already, the first stars have begun to appear. Faint at first, barely visible, but certain. You move a few steps further in, not searching for a better place, only allowing the space to settle around you. The trees do not press too closely. They remain where they are, still, present. The world does not feel empty, but it does not feel crowded, only held, as though the land itself allows you to remain within it without question. You gather what you need, small pieces of wood, dry enough, light enough to carry. There is no difficulty in finding them. They are simply there, as they have always been, as they will be again. The sky darkens further, not quickly, not in a way that marks a clear moment between day and night, only gradually, until the light is no longer something that rests upon the ground, and the stars above begin to take its place. You kneel near the center of the clearing. The earth beneath you is cool, steady, unmoving. And for a moment, you pause again. Not because anything has changed, but because everything has settled. The path is behind you. The night is before you. And between them, this place remains. Quiet, unclaimed. Enough. The wood rests where you placed it. Unarranged, unformed, only gathered. For a moment, it remains untouched. There is no need to begin immediately. The night is still settling. The air is still shifting into its quiet. You move slowly, not out of caution, only because there is no reason to move any other way. Each piece is lifted, turned slightly in your hand, and set into place, not carefully measured, not perfectly shaped. Only enough. A small structure begins to form. Low, simple. It does not need to be more than it is. The ground beneath it is cool, still holding the last memory of the day. But that too is fading. You pause again, listening. The forest has not changed, but it has grown quieter. Not empty, only softer. as though everything has settled deeper into itself. A faint sound moves somewhere beyond the trees, not near, not something that draws your attention for long, only a reminder that the world continues beyond where you sit. You strike the spark. Once, then again. The sound is small, sharp against the quiet, but it does not break it. The flame catches slowly, not all at once. A small glow first, barely visible. Then a second. A thin line of warmth beginning to take hold. You watch it without urgency. There is no need to adjust it quickly. It will find its way. As all small fires do, the wood darkens where the heat touches it. The edges begin to change, not burning, so only becoming something else. The glow grows, softly, without force. The light it gives is not strong. It does not reach far, only enough to shape the space around you. The ground nearest to it shifts in color. The shadows behind you deepen. The trees stand just beyond the edge of it, present, but no longer fully seen. You add another piece of wood, not to build, only to continue. The fire responds, not quickly, but steadily. The warmth begins to settle. It does not push against the air. It becomes part of it. A quiet contrast to the coolness that surrounds it. You sit back slightly, not far, only enough to feel the space between you and the flame. It moves gently, not wild, not restless, only alive in a way that does not demand attention. The sound is soft, a low shifting, barely more than a whisper. And yet, it remains. The stars above have grown clearer now, more of them visible, spread across the sky in ways that do not form patterns you need to follow. They simply are. The firelight flickers against the ground, against your hands, against the edges of what remains within its reach, and beyond that, the darkness holds, not empty, not waiting, only present, as it has always been. You do not think of what comes next. There is no need. The fire is lit. The night has settled. And for now, that is enough. The fire settles into itself. It no longer needs your attention. It burns as it will, steady, unrushed, and in that quiet, your gaze lifts, not with purpose, not searching for anything in particular, only drawn upward, as it has always been. The sky has deepened. What remained of the day is gone now, not taken, only faded, and in its place, the stars have come fully into view. There are more of them than you first noticed, far more. What began as a few faint points has become something vast, endless. They do not move quickly, not in a way that can be followed. They remain fixed, and yet never still. Their light is soft, not bright enough to fill the land, only enough to remind you that the darkness is not empty, that it holds more than can be seen at once. You lean back slightly. The ground supports you without effort. The warmth of the fire remains at your side, but your attention is no longer there. It has shifted to something further, something that does not change. The stars do not ask to be understood. They do not form patterns that must be followed. They simply exist, far beyond the reach of anything that moves below them. And yet, they feel near, not in distance, but in presence, as though they have always been part of what surrounds you. The wind moves again, softer now, passing through the trees with a quieter sound. It does not interrupt the stillness. It becomes part of it. The fire flickers gently beside you. Its light reaches only so far, but the stars, they reach everywhere. There is no edge to them, no place where they end. The longer you look, the more appear. Not because they were not there before, but because they take time to be seen. Time that moves differently in the night. Time that does not rush forward, but settles, like the air, like the earth, like quiet around you. Your breathing slows, not deliberately, only in response to the stillness, to the space, to the sense that nothing needs to be done. There is no path to follow here, no direction that must be taken. Only this moment, held between the fading warmth of the fire and the endless quiet of the sky above. The stars do not change, but something within you does. Not in a way that can be named, only in the way that comes when nothing presses against you, when nothing demands thought, when the world allows you to simply remain within it. And so you do, looking upward, without searching, without expectation, only watching as the night continues. The night is not silent. It never truly is. Even here, where the fire burns low and the stars stretch endlessly above, there is movement, not seen, but heard. At first, it is easy to miss. The sounds are soft, scattered, separated by long spaces of stillness. A faint rustle moves through the leaves, somewhere beyond the edge of the firelight. Not close, not distant. Only there. You do not turn toward it. There is no need. It does not approach. It does not call attention to itself. It simply exists as part of what the night becomes. The wind shifts again, passing higher now through the upper branches. It carries a different sound than before. Less movement on the ground, more among the leaves above. A gentle, uneven rhythm, not constant, but returning again and again. The fire answers it in its own way. A quiet crackle, soft, unhurried, the sound of wood settling into warmth. Of something slowly changing without resistance. It does not break the stillness. It belongs to it. Somewhere further out, beyond where the trees begin to thicken, something steps, light, careful, a single movement. Then nothing. You do not follow it. You do not need to know what made it. The night does not offer explanations, only presence. Only the quiet awareness that you are not alone in it, and yet it does not feel crowded. The space remains open, held, undisturbed. The sounds do not gather into noise. They do not rise. They remain separate, each one appearing and then fading, leaving no trace behind. Your breathing settles further, matching the rhythm of what surrounds you, the rise and fall of the wind, the soft shift of the fire, the occasional movement somewhere beyond sight. Nothing repeats exactly, and yet everything feels familiar, as though the night follows a pattern that does not need to be understood, only experienced. A distant call carries through the trees, low, drawn out, not sharp, not urgent. It lingers for a moment and then fades. The forest does not answer, or if it does, it is too soft to be heard. And so the quiet returns, not as absence, but as something that fills the space between each sound. The fire burns lower now, its light softer, its warmth more contained, but it remains steady, reliable, a small center within the vastness around you. And beyond it, the night continues. Unseen, unhurried, endless in its quiet movement. The wind does not arrive all at once. It shifts, gently at first, almost unnoticed. A slight movement in the air, a change that is felt more than heard. The branches above respond before anything else. Their motion is slow, measured, as though they follow something older than the night itself. You do not look toward them, not directly. There is no need. Their presence is already known, felt in the quiet rhythm that moves through them. The leaves brush softly against one another, not in a single sound, but in many, layered, subtle, each one fading into the next, until it becomes something continuous, something that does not begin and does not end. The fire leans slightly as the wind passes. Its flame shifts. Not I see no more than no one talking, than no one talking. The air cools where the wind touches it, not sharply, not in a way that disturbs, only enough to remind you of the space beyond the fire's reach. The trees stand around you, tall, unmoving at their roots, but never still. Their upper branches sway gently, following the same slow pattern, again and again. The movement does not draw attention to itself. It becomes part of the background of the night, a quiet rhythm that does not ask to be followed, only to be felt. You remain where you are. There is no need to adjust, no need to respond. The wind does not demand anything. It passes through, touches the space around you, and continues. The sound deepens for a moment. A slightly stronger movement through the leaves, not loud, not sudden, only fuller, as though the night itself takes a deeper breath, and then it softens again, returning to its quieter form. The fire answers once more, a small shift, a faint crackle, then stillness. The space between sounds grows longer, more open, each moment stretching just a little further than the last. Time does not feel the same here. It does not move forward in clear steps. It drifts, like the wind, like the sound in the trees, carried without direction, without urgency. You feel the ground beneath you, steady, unchanging, a quiet contrast to the movement above, holding you in place, without effort, without thought. The wind continues. Not constant, but never entirely gone. It returns in soft waves, each one blending into the night, each one fading without leaving anything behind. And within it, you remain, still, present, carried gently between the warmth of the fire and the endless quiet of the trees. The night has settled, not into silence, but into something deeper. A rhythm that no longer draws your attention, only holds it. The fire burns lower now, its light softer, more contained. The space beyond it grows wider, not empty, only less defined. The trees stand where they always have, but their edges fade slightly into the dark, becoming shapes rather than forms. The wind has quieted, not gone, only less present, leaving more space between each sound. And in that space, something shifts. At first, it is nothing more than a feeling, a small change in awareness, as though something beyond the edge of the firelight has moved. Not quickly, not suddenly, only enough. You do not react. There is no reason to. The night is full of movement. Things pass. Things settle. Things remain unseen. And yet, this feels different. Not threatening, not approaching, only present in a way that holds your attention a moment longer. A faint sound follows, soft, careful, a step, perhaps, or something brushing lightly against the ground. It does not repeat. It does not come closer, only remains as a possibility. You listen, not with focus, not searching for it, only allowing it to exist within the quiet. The fire gives a small shift, a brief crackle, then settles again. The sound fades into the background, but the awareness remains. Somewhere beyond the trees, something is there. Not watching, not waiting, only moving as it always has. Part of the same night, part of the same quiet world. Another sound, further away this time, even softer. Barely more than a suggestion, and then nothing. The space returns. Open, still. The moment passes, not ending, only blending back into what was already there. You do not follow it. You do not rise. There is no need. Whatever moved continues on its own path. Separate from yours. The night does not belong to you, and you do not belong to it. Only sharing this moment, this place, for a time. The fire remains steady. The warmth still reaches you. The ground still holds, and the distant movement fades. Not gone, only no longer present in the same way. The quiet returns fully, as though nothing had changed, and yet something had. Only for a moment. Only enough to remind you that the world continues beyond what you can see. The night has deepened, not in darkness alone, but in stillness, the kind that settles slowly until it is no longer noticed. The fire has burned low. Its light no longer reaches as far. What once defined the edges of the clearing now fades into shadow. The trees remain, but they are no longer shapes to follow, only presence, felt more than seen. The sky above has not changed, and yet it feels further away. The stars still rest where they were, endless, unmoving, but the space between them and the ground has grown, as though the night itself has stretched, becoming wider, quieter, more distant. Your body has settled, without thought, without intention. The ground holds you, steady, unchanging. The warmth from the fire is softer now, no longer reaching outward, only remaining close, a small circle within the vastness. The sounds of the forest have quieted, not gone, only fewer, more spaced apart, each one arriving and fading before another takes its place. There is no pattern, no rhythm to follow, only a slow drifting of sound through the stillness. A branch shifts somewhere above, soft, barely more than a whisper, then nothing. The wind returns for a moment, light, passing through the upper leaves, and then it too is gone, leaving behind something deeper than before, a quiet that does not feel empty, only complete. Time does not move here. Not in a way that can be followed. Moments do not lead into one another. They simply exist, then fade, then are replaced, without direction, without urgency. Your breathing slows further, without effort, matching the space around you. The rise and fall, becoming longer, softer, until it no longer draws attention to itself. The fire shifts again, a final small crack, a brief glow, then stillness. The light it gives is faint now, only enough to remind you that it is there. Beyond that, the darkness holds everything else. Not heavy, not pressing, only present. The distant world has faded, not gone, only out of reach. There is nothing that needs to be listened for, nothing that needs to be watched, only this moment. Held within the deep night, and in it, you remain. Still, quiet, carried gently between the last warmth of the fire and the endless calm of the sky above. The fire has grown quiet, not extinguished, not gone, only reduced to something smaller than it was. The flames no longer rise. They no longer shift with the same soft movement. What remains is a low glow, steady, contained. The wood has settled into embers, deep red beneath a thin layer of ash. The light they give is faint, barely reaching beyond their own edges, but it is enough to hold the space, enough to remain. You do not move to restore it. There is no need. The night does not ask for more light. It does not require the fire to continue as it was. It accepts what remains, as you do. The warmth has softened, no longer reaching outward, only resting close to where it began. A quiet center, fading slowly. Without urgency, the air feels cooler now. Not sharply, not in a way that disturbs, only as a gentle shift, a natural change as the fire lets go of what it once held. The sounds around you have grown even more distant, not gone, only further apart. Each one arriving after a longer pause, each one fading more completely into the stillness. There is nothing that draws your attention now, nothing that asks to be followed, only the quiet presence of what remains. The embers shift slightly. A soft movement, a small release of heat, then stillness again. Their glow dims and brightens in slow, uneven breaths, as though the fire itself is resting, letting go without resistance. You feel the ground beneath you, steady, unchanged, the same as it has been since you arrived, holding you without effort, without thought. The sky above remains, unmoved, endless. The stars do not fade. They do not dim. They continue as they always have, beyond the reach of what changes below. The fire fades further, not in a single moment, not all at once, only gradually, until its light is no longer something that defines the space, only something that exists within it. A final small glow, a last quiet warmth, and then less. The darkness does not rush in, It does not replace what was there. It simply remains, as it always has, as it always will. The space feels wider now, more open, more still. There is nothing left to tend, nothing left to adjust, only what remains. And in that, you remain. There is nothing left to do. The fire has settled, the night has deepened, and the space around you has grown quiet in a way that does not change. You shift slightly, not to move away, only to rest more fully where you are. The ground remains steady beneath you, cool, firm, unmoving. It does not resist, it does not give, it simply holds. Your gaze no longer lingers on any one place, not on the fire, not on the trees, not even on the sky. Everything has softened. Edges have faded. The world has become something that does not need to be followed, only felt. Your breathing is slow now, even, unnoticed. It moves without effort. Without thought, the air passes gently around you, cooler than before, but not cold, only present. The stars remain above, endless, unchanging. But you do not need to look at them. They are there, whether you see them or not. The darkness no longer feels wide. It no longer stretches outward. It has settled closer, not around you, but with you, as though the night itself has lowered into the same stillness you now rest within. There are no distant sounds now, or if they remain, they are too soft to reach you, too far to be held. The world beyond this place has faded, not gone, only no longer needed. The memory of movement is gone. The sense of direction has faded. There is no path, no distance, only this moment. Resting, held between what was and what does not need to come next. Your body grows heavier, not weighed down, only more settled, as though the ground beneath you rises slightly to meet you, supporting, without effort, without change. The last warmth from the fire has nearly faded. Only a faint trace remains, barely felt, barely there. The air has taken its place, cool, still, endless. There is nothing that needs your attention now, nothing that asks to be heard, nothing that needs to be seen. Only the quiet, only the stillness, only the slow rhythm of breath and the gentle presence of the night. And in it, you rest. There is no movement now, not in the way there was before. The wind has settled. The trees no longer shift. The night has reached a place where nothing needs to continue, only remained. The last glow of the fire has faded, not suddenly, not in a way that can be marked, only slowly until it is no longer there. The darkness is complete. But it does not feel empty. It does not press against you. It does not surround. It simply exists, as everything now does. Your body rests fully. There is no need to adjust, no need to tow. The ground holds you exactly as it has since the beginning, unchanged, certain. Your breathing is steady, soft, even. It does not draw your attention. It does not need to. It continues on its own. The air moves gently, barely felt, barely there. Cool, still. The sky above remains, though it is no longer seen. The stars continue, endless, unmoving, beyond thought, beyond attention. The world has grown distant, not far away, only quiet, as though everything beyond this moment has stepped back, leaving only what is here, only what is now. There are no sounds to follow, no movement to notice, no changes to observe, only stillness, deep, unbroken, complete. Time does not pass. It does not move forward. It does not need to. This moment does not lead to another. It simply remains. And in it, you rest. There is nothing to hold, nothing to think, nothing to follow. Only the quiet. Only the calm. Only the gentle rise and fall of breath. And slowly, even that fades from your awareness until there is nothing left to notice, nothing left to follow. Only sleep. If you'd like to remain in these quiet nights, there are more waiting for you. You can stay and let another begin. And if you return often, you can follow the channel. Good night.